to the left side, I can go pretty far left. And then even if I'm a puddle baiter or whatnot, there's been many times, Larry can attest to this, where I just like drop a puddle dead on him because he's, you know.
Here I'm puddle baiting.
Yeah, no, that's what I was about to say. What Pondro had said earlier about just like bringing it. I was being a little bit too safe with those puddles, so I think I'm gonna start doing that. Just bringing it like directly on
hit the
top
fuck
of
it with
where
that.
the
How do
yours
I
is.
sort these?
Teach with the drop. That, you know, you are getting dropped on because you are slow.
Like, I hit Fate's
Well,
Step. I don't care.
mean,
it doesn't matter.
well,
Like, you literally can't die.
I usually hit the person coming from east. Like, there's no reason not to, but I'm just
Brother,
gonna
I do
start dropping
not
it,
care.
like, on south when I'm south, and then like we're having to step out of it anyways.
Do you see in
Dude, I don't know how to do Google
like,
Sheets,
hit play there
columns, or charts.
So
Wonder.
yeah, can you rewind a little bit?
Yeah.
So and so Fate's.
How do you sort these?
I just
This is so
want to see
annoying.
that, last puddle drop, like when he's coming in there. Pause. You can drop it where it's half covering the arrow. Like, so basically you could, be almost full south, like where that outer ring is, where you're,
I don't care.
the epicenter of that puddle is, and it's fine.
I don't. Okay, I thought it was funny to talk about.
Like, I do that
shit,
where
but the hell was that? But I don't actually care to talk about fucking light rampant this much. Oh man. Which link the post if you got it. I want to make a tree for it. Like, would the tree be any different from linear? The problem is, how do you scale spiral volley? Because it's a fizz skill. While, like, because, like, I see people doing Rain of Arrows. Needs Queen of the Forest. Okay, the problem with Queen of the Forest is it isn't that 4-socket chest, right? And, like, I feel like the endgame is always rarity. So I'm kind of thinking, like, the best builds in the game have, like, 3 criteria, you know? 1, they ideally use a shield or can swap to a shield to last hit things, because Mahuadals is 210% rarity. Like, that's more important than anything. If you can't shield swap, your build is like kind of bad, right? You have 200 less rarity than a build that can use a shield. And that's the biggest point against bows in the entire game right now. Like, bows are cool, bows are fun, but like the fact that you can't like benefit from Mahuadals is like truly a curse. But that's out of the question, right? I don't know that there's a way to fix that. I mean, you have to. The thing is, you can't just be Fizz, right? Because Heralds are too good. Heralds are too much clear. You have to be like. I think you need bows with flat Ellie. I don't think you can really use a Fizz bow. Unless it just doesn't fucking matter because Spiral Arrow does enough damage. Can you convert Ellie easily? Like, you can add Ellie, but I don't think you can like convert your damage to Ellie very easily, right? I think you either use an Ellie bow or you use a Fizz bow, because a Fizz bow is just way more damage and you accept that your Spiral Arrow is going to do less damage due to scuffed scaling. Dude, this is like a fresh YouTube, like untainted algorithm. Look at the fucking shit I get. It still seems like the damage is kind of low. The thing is, I don't know how... I don't know how difficult these mapping content is. Like, it's so hard to tell, like, if this is a giga map without seeing the mods in the tier. Does it say in the description anywhere? This guy's filter alone makes me think it isn't, like, a super high tier map, though, right? Like... Sparrow just seems cool. Oh man, that single target, ooh. I want to see the single, like, we know the clear is good. I'm not worried about, like, making the clear work. I want to see the single target. I guess the thing, though, is you can always just do the ball lightning shit, right? Like, that probably, like, people keep trying to scale Rain of Arrows, but why scale Rain of Arrows when you have fucking ball lightning? Like, what is actually the point of trying to make Rain of Arrows work? Well, that's the thing, right? I think this is a way less gear-intensive build than LA is. So I think it's like, you might move into LA, but I think, at least at current gear prices, I think this is like by far the better bow build to like clear maps with.
Primary clear skill, Deadeye. We are a full elemental crit.
Is it a mobilytics thing? Let's take a look. The other cool thing is, you don't need dual string bow. Why is he using a dual string bow? Huh? I mean, I guess dual string is still good for a single target. But this was the main thing I was thinking of. How cheap of a bow can you buy if it's not a dual string? Can you buy like a fucking cracked bow on a different base? Because everybody wants dual string, right? Because Fubgun's a dual string guy, like most of the bow builds are dual string. Like, if you can buy just an absolutely insane bow on a different base for like a fraction of the price, then that alone is like kind of huge. Ventors. This thing could have gone away. Why? Am I missing something about Stormcaller Arrow? Why do I see so many people using this instead of Lightning Rod? Stormcaller Arrow, it looks like a lightning arrow, but it leaves like a little shit on the ground. Those things, right? The little, like, they look like little lightning warps. No, that's the Arc Nemesis, isn't it? Actually, I can't tell. I see a ton of people using Stormcaller Arrow, though. But I just don't understand why. Like, yeah, it does, like, okay damage if you wait for the shit to go off.
This is a
We're gonna talk about single target.
So because we stack so much freeze and we are full elemental, we are actually able to use Rain of Arrows on a lot of enemies. This includes rares, bosses.
Was he full elemental with Spiral?
Literally freeze them in like a few hits. Usually,
okay,
it's
that's
well, actually,
Stormcaller.
First to point out that Spiral Volley in general will kill a lot of the rares in mob packs, anyways, just because the number of chains you get is crazy. It goes up to like 12 chains. You're gonna blow up most rares in the mob pack. If they survive, you'll hit them with a few hits. Then you cast Rain of Arrows on top of their face. because they're frozen in place, you can kill them very quickly. This also will consume your frenzy charges.
What the fuck is that sound?
So
It's
you
Discord.
don't
Why
always
do
need to use it, but when you do, especially on a boss, for example, you use Sniper's Mark, Rain of Arrows. I even put more duration, freeze duration on Freezing Salvo.
Or the Zervers, they're fine today. I think the only DCs we had were like the one specific guy's own internet, or like his game, his like DX11's crashing or something.
They'll be frozen for a lot longer, and they'll be able to eat the full 12 frenzy charges worth of duration on Rain of Arrows. You'll sort of see it sort of funny. The Rain of Arrows will sit there for like the longest number of time. If like it'll last longer than the enemy will sit there.
Dude, why does it force set me to?
Anyways, the
sound
damage is
packs?
pretty good. For my primary, I am using Stormcaller Arrow. And this is the primary way that I'm getting the initial elemental ailment, and then also this becomes my single target and general purpose, sort of auto attack type of thing. It says 10k on the tooltip here, but that's just the arrow itself, and you'll notice it's actually enough to kill a lot of enemies. But our actual tooltip is more like 40 something, maybe 50 if you could attack a few times. But yeah, and so what that does is this just gives us a way to clear pretty quickly. You can use LA. You can use LA to basically clear out mobs, to clear out trash as well. But in general, I prefer Stormcaller Arrow because it feels more impactful. Elemental elements scale off of the damage dealt that's proportional to that element. So because the hit is so big, you end up getting pretty much guaranteed elemental ailments on a lot of enemies just based off of the bolt itself.
Okay, so he's doing it because he wants a bigger shock, I guess.
But yeah, so just going through, Freezing Salvo, pretty obvious, pretty busted.
Is Freezing Salvo good? I've seen so many clips of people using Freezing Salvo, and it seems like it does no damage. Like, I've never seen somebody use Freezing Salvo on, like, a rare, and it was like, holy shit, that rare just got erased. It's just like, it's like a little bit of damage. It seems like only, like, 3 of the missiles, like, ever hit. Like, it seems like as good as, like, a normal attack, and that's it. I mean, I guess it builds up freeze, right? Which is, like, a thing you want to do, but for damage, it seems worthless.
With Cannibalism, Herbalism, and then Herald of Thunder. So on Herald of Thunder, actually, I've been running...
I didn't hear him talk about
Cast
Spiral Volley.
It creates a big AoE around you, and what it does is it chains once per frenzy charge consumed, and deals a crap ton more damage per frenzy charge consumed. On this build, we can get up to 6 frenzy charges, which means it can chain up to 6 times, and there's an ascendancy on the Deadeye passive tree that...
Okay, let's talk about this. Do we really think this is the way to go? Like... Is the frenzy stuff really worth taking? Because I'm like debating it. I don't think it's I think it's like a meme, kinda. Like 30% chance that you'd gain up to your maximum, right? No. You're always gonna have 1. I mean taking these ascendancy points, right? And it's not double damage, is it? It's double damage on Rain of Arrows. Isn't it on Spiral Volley it's 20%? Yeah, it's 20% more per frenzy charge consumed. So when that procs, yeah, it's going to be like, instead of dealing a 220% damage, it's going to be, assuming you're taking 6, or are they taking 7? Okay, let's pretend they're taking 7, right? So it's going to be 140 plus 1, 240, 340. It's going to be 340 instead of 220. So when this procs, you're going to be dealing 54% more damage on your next Spiral Frenzy. But like, your Spiral Frenzy needs to be able to clear when you're only using 1 Frenzy charge. Is like, that's the sticking point to me. Is that this is like, if you need this to proc to do something, your build is bad. You know, you can't only have 30% of your hits like be impactful, and it's only 54% more impactful. In this one, the benefits are doubled. So, I mean, presumably this also buffs the base, but this is just 50% chance to deal not quite double damage. But again, it's only on your frenzy consumers. And I've yet to see a rain of arrows like use that seems like really good, you know? Until I see somebody use rain of arrows and it just fucking obliterates the boss post nerf, I don't care about these. If these are spiral frenzy buffs, they don't matter to me. I'd rather take the additional mark, you know what I mean? I would rather take this and do something with a mark. I would rather take the no accuracy penalty if I didn't care about the additional proj, but the additional proj is like still really good for lightning rod. There's something that does 100% per frenzy. I don't remember. I think it's rain of arrows. Yeah, it's 100% more, or no, it's 50% more per frenzy. There's something that is it's just more per charges though. I don't remember what skill it is. It's not always the same. Can't remember what else. What other mark skills are there? Sniper's mark. I know voltaic mark is kind of like cool, but I don't think you need voltaic mark for this build. I think it's better on lightning arrow. Chance to shock. Free shock effect, but it consumes the shock, right? Oh no, it doesn't. I mean, 45% more shock effect on your marked target? And more chance to shock? That's... I unironically think the double mark thing is like worth considering. Unless, if Rain of Arrows is good, that's different. But I think the frenzy charge stuff is a meme, because if you need, like I said, if you need these for Spiral Volley to like clear things, then you're better off investing elsewhere. You're better off not playing the build. Like, your build has to be able to clear a screen in one Spiral Volley, or the build is a joke. Right? How many more arrows is this? Oh, it's more chains, right? Chains once per frenzy charge. Yeah, again, I don't think you need more than one chain with that many arrows. I don't know. The frenzy charge nodes seem like win more nodes to me. I don't think
Let's go.
They're that good.
It's a 50% chance to double the.
And think about how fucking good Far Shot is on this build. Like, I think Far Shot alone is better than both these points.
Number of frenzy charge consumed, and so what that means is that this becomes 12 chains with like 60% more damage.
Like, why do you need 12 chains though?
It's really crazy. We're not always at that mark, but quite a bit of the time we are. And you'll notice that you don't actually need to always cast this much. The damage on this build is high enough that I can kill and clear tier 16 with just one frenzy charge.
Exactly.
And that's even with pretty unfriendly mods as well. And so the way this build works in order to generate frenzy charges is two things. We are using combat frenzy. And so what this does is every time you do an elemental ailment, and a hard elemental ailment like freeze, electrocute, or pin, you generate a frenzy charge. And so
do you need to scale pin on this build?
Perfusion, so that if our ascendancy here, this 30% chance to gain maximum misses, we can still get 2, which is still very good. And then you also get another 5% chance to gain maximum here on the tree. Go ahead and turn global off real quick. And then the other thing is we're running Sniper's Mark. So you'll notice that Combat Frenzy has a cooldown of 5 seconds. If you put quality on it, I think that goes down further. It just doesn't show in the tooltip.
Is this pre-buff?
The Fetch for Life wiki, it said it does go down, and it feels like
Isn't it like 1.5 seconds? Yeah, they did.
It goes down, so I'm just gonna say it does. It might be broken.
I thought this patch was on the 17th, so we put this video out like
5 seconds,
right before the patch.
Can't recast their ability or will not hit another frenzy charge. And so what we do is
Dude, marks are so fucking weird.
If you run Sniper's Mark with the plus.
I don't like Sniper's Mark.
Yeah, the second wind. Run with second wind and with cooldown recovery rate. And then you run it with these things so that casting it basically doesn't feel
The
like
other thing is I think trying to like generate frenzy charges on single target is like super cringe. Why? Like, I don't know.
thing. You basically are able to ping pong between the two. And what that will look like is when
I think like trying to make the frenzy build work on single target is like just totally stupid when ball lightning and lightning rod exists, right? It's just, yeah, it's like, think about, because what I'm thinking is you maybe take this node because evasion, if you've used a frenzy charge recently, is cool. And like this one's like nice pathing, it's right there. You get one more frenzy charge, you will like pretty often, like you will get to 4. But the other ones are in such like not good spots. Like, are you really gonna come out here and take 2 dead nodes? Who the fuck cares about frenzy charge duration? And like, I don't think you want to path, like pathing down this way is like a trap. You want to be pathing either this way or this way. And then the 4-pointer, yeah, again, you're taking now 3 dead nodes just to get +2 frenzy charges. You're taking you're like minus a dozen points just to make these not worthless when like these already exist. And arguably, I think these are like just as good. So I'm gonna challenge the current Spiral Volley meta that I think 4 frenzy charges is as high as you want to go. I think these builds have a lot of optimization room, is my point. But the thing is, they're like a really good proof of concept, and I think you can like make the build way better.
The next pack, if it comes within that 5 seconds, I cast my mark, and then I recast my Spiral Volley. And then by that point, my my combat frenzy will be back up, so I can cast it.
Show me
go back to my best use of it. 3% less damage taken per tailwind is a very strong. And yeah.
What do we think about this tree? It looks like the standard Deadeye tree, right? For the most part. He's going over here. Okay, he doesn't take... Oh, he does take the frenzy charges. He doesn't take these, though. I don't really like coming down this way. I know this node is super good, but it just feels way better to go this way to me. I guess the other reason he's coming down here is because he's already at this node, right? Yeah, I don't think this tree is very good. And he's taking the pen nodes, which I think are kind of a meme. I've come around to exposure. A little bit. I kind of forgot curses exist, and you can curse and expose, and that's better than spending like 10 plus points on your tree for pen. I don't know how much I like these nodes. Why does he have these? Huh? They're crit nodes, right? Ew. Why? Huh?
Volley. And yeah, so we take some frenzy charge nodes. I don't think you need more than 6 frenzy
Oh,
charges.
he's not going this way?
This, as it is, feels very good. I'll show you later, but you
Yeah,
pretty
but
much
that's
clear
good.
multiple screens
This
left and
build
right.
has like
No
50%
reason to
plus
actually
more
spend
optimization,
more.
right? And it's
Maybe
already
later
like
on it
shredding.
becomes harder, it might make sense.
He doesn't take lightning damage
And then in
lucky.
general, what
He
we're stepping
takes
into
1
is
node of
shock
crit
chance
and
and
doesn't
freeze
take
chance.
lightning
This
lucky.
makes our elemental elements much more consistent
Oh.
on harder enemies. So we're doing penetration here. Penetrate.
I like these
and we
nodes.
also
I don't
shock-
see enough people take these nodes. I think these nodes are insane. But the problem is... Okay, him traveling out this way to take them is like weird. And then he just doesn't take like the best node on the whole tree.
shock chance, and then we get
Oh.
another freeze chance up here. And the freeze chance I think is more important. In general, when it comes to gear,
Okay,
actually, I would try to
the
prioritize
one
cold.
Thing I think is good about coming down this way is you get the freeze and stun build-up nodes. But I don't think those are that important. Like, generating the first freeze is so easy, and if your build isn't killing things in the first freeze, you're kind of like a bad build anyway. Like, that's the current state of the game right now, right? Like, if you aren't killing it in one freeze, your build is bad. They were really good when you could chain freeze, for sure. I don't think they're worth it now. The real problem not coming down this way is missing these nodes. This is movement speed. But I think you just don't take these, and you take the movement speed nodes at the start of Ranger instead of pathing this way.
So we're doing penetration here. Penetrate, and then we also have shock chance, and then we get another freeze chance up here. And the freeze chance I think is more important.
Why does it need these accuracy? Are these the crit accuracy nodes?
Prioritize cold. Try to have it on the higher roll, because that ends
Oh
up feeling better for
no.
health device.
Oh no.
And then yeah, run this node because it's busted. Crit chance here, but pretty much everything is as you'd expect for an elemental boast. Ends up feeling better for Herald device. And then yeah, run this node because it's
Okay,
busted.
he's talking about
Chance
those.
here.
I agree. I do think those nodes are very good.
An elemental boast, pretty close to the LA tree, other than we're taking a lot of crit. Oh, and then the jewels. I don't expect you to have jewels like this.
Yeah, I think the crit shit's a meme.
But these things are pretty important.
Show me the boss. Here we go.
Okay, so we're at the boss now. I'm gonna come in with frenzy charges, like we're mapping, but it actually doesn't really matter because you use sniper's mark to generate anyways.
Yeah, not even quiver jewels with a meme.
The damage is pretty good for map bosses. It's definitely not meta tier, but I would say it's up there. So let's go ahead and hit him, start chugging my blasts, and we want to teleport.
What the fuck is this? Why is it covering up the damage? I see this on so many people's screens. What is this? Is this a trade overlay?
And that was it. Chugging my blasts, and we want to teleport. I'll pop my rain arrows, keep moving.
Okay, I'm going to lower the volume because I don't care about it, but did the Rain of Arrows do anything?
Meta tier, but I would say it's up there. So let's go ahead and hit him, start chugging my blasts. And we want to teleport.
Look at the freezing salvo. It did so little damage compared to the first lightning arrow he did.
But I would say it's up there. So let's go ahead and hit him.
It did like 5% of his health, and then he's chunking it for like 10% per use. What is the point of it? I still am not seeing the Rain of Arrows do anything.
And that was it. So basically all I did there was I froze him.
It's still going.
Frenzy charges up, and
How
then
long of a boss kill do you need for that skill to pay off?
and that was just enough to kill him, I think. Okay, so I want to leave this off with a few notes, just some thoughts about the build.
Isn't there an update? Probably new speed clear king. Dude, nobody shows the mods, though. I think it's like ultra cringe when you don't show the mods in the map you're in. Like, is this a Monster Life map? Like, what's the scoop? Spiral seems so chill for breaches and ritual though, and those are like seem like the best content. Like fuck aiming, dog. This is the ultimate tee shot. And I question what people are doing sometimes, because I see a lot of people using Spiral Shot and they look like they're trying to get inside the model of some rares. And it makes me think they think it can shotgun.
Update with the frenzy charge changes. If you read the patch notes, you noticed that they changed the cooldowns on Sniper's Mark by about half and Combat Frenzy by about a third. Under quality and I'm not sure if the quality is doing anything still, but at least by the level 19 gem, this goes down to 1.
I think the only thing I'm worried about is freezing often enough.
5.5. So this probably with the quality, if the quality is doing something, is probably bringing it closer to about once every second. So unless you're casting Spiral Volley more than a second,
Not a drink.
you'll find that basically you can cast it as often as you want. If you really want to spam it, you now have Sniper's Mark. Sniper's Mark is also more spammable. But as far as I can tell, the clear on this build now,
I can't believe he was casting Spiral Volley that often with the pre-nerf Spiral Volley, or the pre-buff Combat Frenzy.
Right, and also can spam their AoE off a cooldown. I think likely this build will get nerfed. I find it unlikely that GG will keep it in this state, especially because it seems like they didn't see my video before they released the patch notes. I imagine that'd be the case. They just released it yesterday. So yeah.
What would you nerf about this build? Huh?
I saw the added.
Shut the fuck up.
Remove the damage penalty from ability, so I went ahead and checked that on my Stormcaller arrow. I think mobility on your primary clear will be meta because it feels really good.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, bows don't slow your movement until you attack twice in a row, right? Like, if you're moving and you use a bow skill, don't you maintain your speed? It's not until the reuse, right? Because every bow player I've seen using Lightning Arrow, their movement never slows down. They fire once and they continue running. Right? That's how it works, right?
Especially if you already had the damage.
Like, if you're holding down your bow skill, you're fucking up.
People are asking what else you